Hello, art teacher back here with you once again, and this is going to be the beginning of a really long set of lessons on 2-point perspective. I'll do a separate one on 1-point perspective and maybe hit on 3-point perspective also, but here what I've done is made a few drawings. Each of these drawings will represent an entire video lesson that I'm going to do. So, let me just go over the types of things that might be helpful for you to have to really be successful with this perspective drawing. Okay? So, of course, you need a pencil, nice sharp pencil, nice to have 2 or 3 ready to roll that are already sharp. Of course, these aren't very sharp. These are very good for this purpose. A nice mechanical pencil is always going to have a decent little point on it. Or, you know, I've mentioned you can spend a few dollars and get a nice professional, or an art pencil. It's a little different than these which are used for writing because they either have the letter B or H on them. Then a number also. For instance, this is 4B. That means it's going to be really dark. The higher the number, the darker it would be. Then there's the H pencils. Now the H pencils are kind of light. For this perspective drawing, you might want to get a 2H or something like that. It's kind of a light pencil with a very, very hard lead. The hard leads are lighter, the soft leads, the B pencils, are going to be darker. Maybe I'll have go into that a little more in detail later. But have some pencils ready, have some paper ready. I did mention try to get a big pack like that. They're only between $5 to $10. That comes down to a penny a sheet. And then your son or daughter, whoever you're working with, isn't going to be afraid to mess a paper up or whatever, because it's just so cheap and there's so much of it that they'll be able to express themselves with more fluency. Then you need a ruler. So here's the ruler I use. You see it's got real nice thickness to it. That's what I use to make these. If you want to go for a longer ruler, you're using bigger paper, maybe something like this metal one. I've had this for many, many years. And I use this in my classroom sometimes to write on the big whiteboard or the chalkboard because I can make the nice long lines with that. This is an old friend. I've had it for many, many long years, decades. Or you could possibly use a T-square. It might be useful, but considering we're using different angles, this might not be your best choice, really. And if you have limited means, you could just use one of these paint mixing sticks, which are available for free at any hardware store. So, those are the basic materials that you're going to need. Just pencil, ruler, and paper. Maybe something to sharpen those pencils with. So, let me get right to what we're going to be doing. The idea behind this is not just to copy my drawings. The idea is to use the copying process to gain a deeper understanding of how this vanishing point system, perspective drawing, works. Now, I'm going to go into what vanishing points are, and that's going to be like the core of what we're doing. 2-point perspective means you have 2 vanishing points. Now, just by way of introduction, again, I'm going to go through step by step how to make these specific drawings. As I go, I'll go through them step by step. Each one of them is going to be a separate video. The idea is for you to copy those, not with the idea of making a pretty drawing, but with the idea of understanding why it works like it does to make a drawing where part of it looks close to you. See that center line looks close to you? And part of it looks far away. These 2 end lines, the ends of the houses, the end of the house there, they look like they're a little further back. And it's done in a very systematic way. And I'm going to go through what that system is. So that's a simple house with a pitched roof. Some kids think that looks like a barn because of that big X. But that big X is really just part of a measuring system that we're going to use. Here I have the same thing, except I've put a little sidewalk on it. And the lines on the sidewalk go back to these vanishing points. That's going to be a video that I do, and you can hear about that. Here's a simple house with windows and a door. And here I'm exploring the idea of the horizon line. The horizon line is derived from connecting the two vanishing points with your ruler. Boom, just like that. Just connect those two vanishing points. And whatever's below the horizon line, you're looking down at it. Whatever's above the horizon line, you're going to be looking up at those things. So that has two houses, one above the horizon line, one below. And just copying a drawing like that, as I go through it step by step, is going to help you to understand how the horizon line functions. So that's going to be an important one. Here I have a more complex little drawing that has stairs on it, and that's below the horizon line. So I'm going to talk about how you might do something like that. Then I'm going to try to put several ideas together. Again, not the best drawing, but it gives you an idea. I'll put stairs, sidewalk, a house with windows and doors. We'll bring it all together in the last video. You know what? Even beyond this, I might have a couple more. So hang in there with this. Try to do every one of these little drawings as we go. And I should be able to post one of them, my first one, which would be, let's see, first one I went through, just a simple house with a roof. I should be able to post that by this weekend. So I do appreciate you tuning into these videos. If you're enjoying them, try to tell some friends about it, see if other people would subscribe. I'd like to have these go out to, a lot of kids could really benefit from these. So I'd like to have these go out to as many families as possible so that more people could benefit from these. So do your subscriptions, do your, comments and likes and stuff, and I get right back to you on the comments and everything too. So if there's something you don't understand. So brace yourselves. We're going to have 6 or 7 or maybe even more lessons on perspective drawing coming up soon. Well, I thank you so much for listening, and get your rulers ready, get your pencils ready, and get your paper, because we're going to be doing some serious drawing over the next few weeks. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.